right, let me tell you how a guy who just wanted peace and quiet ended up in a battle worthy of its own Netflix drama, all because of one power-drunk HOA president and her clipboard army. I mean, you ever buy a place just for the silence, thinking, finally nobody's going to bother me out here, and then out of nowhere you get dropped into a war you never asked for? Yeah, that happened. That's my story. And if you think HOAs can't mess with you unless you sign on the dotted line, well, buckle up. I'd barely settled in. I'm talking boxes still stacked coffee, not even cold, and the only neighbors I'd seen so far were deer crows and a stray cat with half a tail. 6 acres of Georgia woods, dry leaves, cool air sun coming through the pines. This was what I'd saved up for, dreamed about. I wasn't asking for much. Just a place to build a little greenhouse, mend some old fences, maybe learn the names of a few birds instead of board members. Then on a Sunday morning, this white SUV creeps down my gravel driveway, crunching loud enough to wake the squirrels. Big HOA decal on the side, which is funny because my land is 300 feet outside their stupid boundaries. 2 women get out matching blue polos badges, the whole "we run this place" vibe. The tall one, frosted hair and sunglasses, steps up with this smile like she's about to sell me a timeshare. "Good morning, sir," she chirps, flashing her tablet. "We're with Birch Point Estates, HOA. I'm Karen Fletcher, president of the board, and this is Susan, compliance officer." I just nod, don't give my name. Why feed the beast, you know? Karen launches right in. "You need to come by the office to sign your declaration since your property now falls under our expanded observation zone." I nearly spit out my coffee. "Declaration of what now?" She leans in all fake sweetness. "You're now within the HOA's adjacent influence area. Starting now, all landscape modifications, fencing, exterior changes gotta be reviewed." I had to laugh. "Ma'am, I bought this place because it's not HOA. My title, my rules." She just tilts her head like I'm the slow kid in math class. "Our new boundary map says otherwise." She flashes a digital map, all confidence. I show her mine from the county assessor. "See these lines? You're there, I'm here, that's the law." She shrugs. "That's an old map, we've updated it. Like you can redraw reality on a tablet. Unless you've got a court order, you're trespassing." Karen's smile finally cracks. Susan tries to play good cop, but I'm done. I tell them to leave. Karen flips my security camera the bird on her way out. Yeah, caught that on tape. Next morning, there's a plain white envelope jammed in my gate. No stamp, no return address. Inside, "You have failed to provide verification of ownership. HOA Birch Point will proceed with measures to resolve unauthorized occupancy." Not signed, no logo, just that smug, entitled tone. I scan it for my folder, gonna need a bigger one, and go about my day. But it's not over. That afternoon, I find a shiny HOA sign hammered in next to my mailbox. This area is monitored by Birch Point HOA. Pulled it up, chucked it in the shed. That night, I added 2 more cameras. Welcome to rural America, folks. 3 days later, a county cruiser parks at my gate, lights on, no siren. The officer steps out, formal hand near his belt. "You Justin Emerson?" I nod. He says, "We got a 911 call about a possible squatter may be armed." I almost laugh until I realize he's dead serious. I hand over every document, deed, boundary map, letter from my attorney, even the closing statement. He checks it all, runs my info. Finally says, "You're good. Sorry about the trouble. For the record, if you want to file a complaint, you should." I say, "Let me guess, Karen Fletcher." He gives me a look. "Yeah. And she told dispatch you might be dangerous. False report. That's a felony grade move where I'm from." I drop everything in my digital folder. Label it defense. You can bet I start checking my cameras twice a day. Next comes the drone. Not mine. Every morning just after sunrise, this thing hovers over my south line, low, slow buzzing like a mechanical wasp. Some HOA backlot creeps running surveillance, making sure I know they're watching. Meanwhile, new signs show up, one at the mailbox, one on a public utility pole, one with this legalese about compliance zones. Each one I pull photograph file. It's like playing chess with people who only know how to flip the board. I call my lawyer Eric. He's sharp, not easily rattled. I send him everything, the photos, the drone footage, the HOA bulletins smearing me as an unverified occupant. Eric goes quiet, then says, "They're trying to create the illusion of jurisdiction. It's not legal, but if they muddy the waters, you'll burn cash and time just defending what's already yours." Now, I'm not just mad, I'm focused. I post on a local forum, ask if anyone else has been bullied by Birch Point. Within hours, I get a message from someone who used to be on the board. She's done this before. If you're serious, I've got records. Next day, he sends a zip file, emails, meeting notes, transcripts. In one, Karen writes, "If we don't make this stick, the whole perimeter model collapses. Apply pressure or we lose control." That's all I need. I install more lights. I schedule a meeting with Daphne, a local reporter who once wrote about HOA overreach. Show her everything. She listens, says, "These people are insane." I tell her to hold off on publishing. My lawyer combs through the records, calls me back, says, "You've got a case." They crossed into defamation, harassment, abuse of emergency services. He files a demand letter and prepares a civil suit. 2 days later, the drone vanishes. Signs stop appearing. But now the HOA tries social warfare. Trash dumped by my mailbox, patrol cars cruise by, neighbors pause on walks to check their phones while staring at my fence, anonymous complaints about construction noise. The deputies check my cameras, apologize. Then comes the big twist. Angela, a neighbor from inside Birch Point, knocks on my door. She'd been fined $500 for painting her mailbox the wrong shade of white. She tells me I thought I was the only one. She brings me more info and a connection to another ex-board member who'd resigned because of Karen's obsession. With all this, Eric files the lawsuit: defamation, harassment, invasion of privacy, conspiracy to interfere with property rights. The HOA lawyer responds. Bland denial suggests mediation. Eric just says, "See you in court." That gets their attention. Court day feels like walking into a slow-burn Western. Karen's lawyer tries to paint her as a well-meaning defender of the community. Eric lays it all out: deed map, security footage, the 911 call transcript where Karen claims I'm possibly armed. He reads her email about applying pressure, plays the voice memo from the closed-door HOA meeting. Their lawyer objects. The judge overrules him. Then Eric shows the bulletin with my address labeled unverified occupant. When Karen takes the stand, she's all meek, says she just wanted to ensure officer safety. Eric asks, "Did you ever ask for my papers?" She hesitates. "Not directly." "Did you operate the drone?" "Not personally." But she didn't stop it either. The judge doesn't take long. The defendant, acting on behalf of Birch Point Estates HOA, engaged in harassment, defamation, and attempted manipulation of legal boundaries. The false 911 call is a serious abuse of emergency services. You are not law enforcement. You are neighbors, and you forgot what that means. Gavel drops. HOA pays $285,000. Restraining order. Karen and her board can't come near me or my property. I thought I'd feel triumphant. Truth is, it felt like relief. Within days, the story leaks. HOA forums light up, neighbors demand answers. Karen steps down. Yeah, right. Her house goes dark, then up for sale. The new board. Their platform is literally, "Don't be Karen." Angela moves away, finally smiling again. Daphne writes a follow-up: when the fence isn't enough. One man's fight against phantom authority. It goes semi-viral. Folks at the hardware store nod and whisper, "You're the fence guy, right?" One even asks if I'll look at his HOA bylaws. Months later, life settles. Silence finally means something again. The new board leaves me alone. The only things left near my fence are wildflowers someone planted, don't know who, didn't ask. I trademarked the phrase from the granite sign I had carved: private property. Not your HOA, not your business. A little overkill. Maybe. But after all that, I figured I'd earned a monument. So what's the moral? Don't let people invent power over you. Stand your ground, build your folder, know your rights. And if you're ever faced with a Karen and her clipboard army, remember you're not alone. Now tell me, do you think HOAs should have the right to expand their control past their boundaries? Ever fought back against neighborhood overreach? Drop a comment. I want to hear your story. Because sometimes all it takes is one person standing up to remind everybody else they can too.